All right.
We were having a lot of technical difficulties, but we've at least got the stream up and running for you. So thank you all for your patience.
Yes,
It was a great run.
okay. Now we're ready. Okay, Shane. So you want to explain the trick we're going to use on Yuri 1 here? We're going to try to kill him in under 20 seconds.
Absolutely. So the fundamental trick that you want to go for is that you want to go into a 4 combo, which is 4 blocks in a row, and then another 4 combo, which is another 4 blocks in a row, within the span of the chain, which is one thing leading to another, in the first couple seconds of the game. However, Tayman has a unique strategy in approaching this category, which is instead of waiting for them to finish their chain, which is when they stopped making their A to B, B to C, as we see now in the stream, like we see that Gary already messed up, and what Tayman wants to do, he wants to wait for Gary to raise the stack. And in this case, Gary unfortunately did clear the bottom right side with the combo, and Tayman is going to restart. He's going to try again. But again, long story short is instead of waiting for Gary to finish his chain, sorry, we just got a call on the other end. Instead of waiting for Gary to finish his chain, what Tayman's going to do is he's going to wait for Gary to start raising his block. He's not going to wait for Gary to drop a big chain on Tayman. And I believe that if looking at this, yep, there we go. I'm about 2 seconds behind, but Tayman got the success right there. Under 20 seconds, that is a world record pace time right there. So that is what we're looking at right here.
Are we done, bro? Fortunately, you got the clear.
Okay, man, thoughts on the first run? I mean, as you're going into Brock?
Well,
I do want to give a quick reminder for the future levels. We do have a donation incentive to be using Squirtle for the run.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Absolutely, Squirtle is a very popular choice, and Squirtle is a suboptimal time-wise choice, but at the same time, it is one of the most, how should I say, the funnest choice. So if anyone is interested in donating for that, then I feel like that is the best choice that you can go for.
Yeah, like we were just so caught up with the tech issues. I totally forgot about the donation incentive. But yeah, someone donated like a lot of money for Squirtle early on.
Yeah, Squirrel has been a popular choice, and that is a fantastic broad clear from Tayman right there. It looks like he was thinking about doing the reset. So reset strats are very popular in this game. So basically, when you don't get the quick kill on your opponent, the opponent can rage anywhere from 30 seconds to like probably 30 minutes if you really try hard enough to make them live that long. It really depends on how it pans out. So the reset strats are basically you cancel out of your current run of the game. And at that point, you decide, listen, I have a better chance of killing them in 15 seconds than I do of killing them within the next 5 minutes at worst, right? And basically what Tayman is doing, at least in the Brock situation, right now he just beat Misty very easily, as far as I can see. You kind of gamble. It's almost like the gambler's paradox, where you decide, okay, so like if I invest too much into resetting over and over and over again, I will lose time on my eventual run. But if I invest time into resetting right now, I could possibly get a 15-second run, and as a result, clear the rest of this run right now. So right now we see Tayman on the Lieutenant Surge. He dropped the perfect 4 combo into 4 combo. Lieutenant Surge unfortunately clears the first 4 combo. His second 4 combo clear is slow in coming, and he finally gets it. Good job, Tayman. Again, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit behind on this, but this is shaping up to be actually an almost world world record pace run right now.
Maybe that's a bit of a hyperbole, but this is going pretty well so far.
It's definitely possible. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and with I'm not going to be quite as aggressive on the reset strats with on a marathon. Cause like it's fun to see things play out a bit. Also, what the heck is this checkerboard pattern?
That is a beautiful chain, by the way. Yeah, I was about to say, like, all right, so it's very difficult to time the moment at which you want to drop in a block to match the clear time for the chain that you're trying to reach. And Tayman hit every single one to the point of his own surprise, basically. So, like, he was not expecting, I think, to get to a 12 chain there, and at the same time, he was trying to build up to the point where Eric would start putting in work. So when you ask for a player to put in work, you're asking for them to actually start making a chain of their own, and that way you can trip them up when they're confused. So the fundamentals of why the 4 combo into 4 combo chain works is because the AI is programmed to always clear the lowest block that is available on their screen. If you look at Erica's screen, she's always aiming to clear the lowest block that is available on her screen. Unfortunately, in this case, she managed to clear both of them before Tayman could kill her, based on the fact that the second one was touching the chain above it. So, in that scenario, what you want to do is probably reset, because you have a chance of making Erica give up within the range of 15 seconds. This is the gambler scenario that I'm discussing earlier.
Also, I am facing the biggest challenge of all, which is the Nintendo 64 controller. It's just a big pain.
I will give you all the credit in the world, Tayman. The N64 controller, while a fan favorite, it is also very difficult to handle. So I definitely agree with you. I mean, this man that we're seeing right now, he is running this not on emulator. He's running this directly from the original console. That means that we don't have any of the benefits that we normally have from console gaming, which is, like advanced controls or oh my goodness, I can't believe you're going so deep on this on this Erica, my guy. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I had to quiet down. You went so deep on that Erica. Oh my god. All right, so when you're not left with 3 rows of blocks, that's when you have to start thinking, like, maybe I went too deep, and that's when you start thinking about, how do I clear the garbage on top of me? So the way that you clear garbage on top of you is by making a 3 combo at least that touches the garbage, which is those big solid blocks that you see on top of you. So Tayman forewent the opportunity to clear those garbage blocks just to have the opportunity to maybe kill Erica in a way that would be time sensible. Unfortunately, it did not pan out. And this time, Erica also clears the top garbage block on her side. So it's kind of a pickle. I mean, for some people in the community, Erica is one of the least favorite members of the run, because this is kind of like the turning point. It's kind of when people start transitioning from very hard to super hard, more or less. So this is when super hard becomes actually super hard. And we see now Erica is about three rows deep. And if you remember, that means that she can get secure clears throughout the rest of this garbage block that is on top of her. And so it's up to Tayman to decide when he's going to cut it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just complaining about Erica because she's being a big pain right now. Also, this like I want to say, like, so a chain mentioned that, like, we have to do the open a chain with a 4 combo into another 4 combo. Okay, please work. Why would? So that should have worked, except she had a clear on the side of that block.
So the way you talk about Erica and just the different members and how it gets harder, do the different gym leaders and the different AI actually work differently?
Yes, to a certain degree. There's kind of like phases in the game where I would say the first 4 stages of the game which are, Gary, Misty, Brock, so on and so forth, Lieutenant Surge, they could all be categorized as kind of extensions of the very hard difficulty mode. They operate under very similar mechanics. They're slow enough where you can trick them very easily into making a stupid mistake. As soon as you get to Erica, Erica is the first sign of trouble coming your way, in the sense that, the same strategies that you use going into this, they're not going to work as easily. You have to hit the timing more perfectly. And then just around Blaine or Tracy, that's why Tracy is called Trollsy in this series, is because it really goes into full, super hard, superhuman, elevated gameplay levels where the AI on the other side is moving at a level that is way stronger than any human being is ever actually capable of doing. So right now we're facing kind of like the first hurdle, I would say, of the entire run is the Erica run, at least famously by
Oh my
Michael Stan.
gosh. Can that please work? Thank you. Oh my gosh. So,
Catch up
yeah,
with Squirtles.
yeah, we lost. We won even though we had the type disadvantage.
So speaking of type disadvantage, I just want to point it out real quick for anyone that does not know. There is no such thing as type advantage or disadvantage in this game, unfortunately. That was a very risky 4 reds right there, Tayman. Holy crap. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late on that one, but there was absolutely no need for you to go for that. But swag is swag. You can't argue with it. And it nets a win, so can't argue with that either. That's the 18-second Erica that we were looking for from the start. So really what you're looking for is about 15 to about 30 seconds for each stage. However, as I mentioned earlier, reset strats are the best way to maximize the potential for reaching those, because the opponent is most vulnerable in the first 30 seconds of the run, or of the stage rather, I'm sorry. And if you decide to risk it to go longer than that, is because you're sure that they're not going to be able to handle what's coming towards them. Unfortunately, in this case, as we're entering stage 6 on my end, we got the perfect clear on the top. However, that still breathes a little bit of life because there's a chance that the AI may mess up their clear. The question is, do they go for the top level strats or not? Oh, he did not go for the top level strats, but he did get the clear. Is there going to be top level strats here? Nope. And we're going to see a reset here on Koga. So top level strats are when there are 2
second tier strats.
I'm sorry.
Second tier, you mean?
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
Right. That's okay.
Second tier strats. Yeah. Well, you're right. All right. So second tier strats are when the opponent has the opportunity to clear both stacks. Stacks being garbage blocks. Stacks being what you see each player piling on top of each other. When they have the opportunity to do so from above what is generally considered the playing field, which is on the bottom of the screen. So when they go for that second tier, that's when you know that
there we go.
That person, that like they exceeded expectations. They went above their AI intelligence, more or less, or at least our community's understanding of the AI intelligence. They go above and beyond just to make sure that your run goes worse. And that's what happened earlier here. But fortunately here, we see Tayman advancing forward, and he's now on Sabrina.
Well, he was.
That was an easy Sabrina. 17 seconds, that is, like I said, anything between 15 and 30 seconds is a godly split for this run. for any character throughout the board, from 0 to 16, every character split from 15 to 30 is world record pace, more or less.
Every in my world record run, I got a 13-second Gary one.
Yeah, I mean, Gary 1 is notorious for being simultaneously the final boss and the biggest chump of the entire series. Because sometimes he does nothing, and then you have to keep building and building and building and building your chain, waiting for him to initiate his chain.
Nice.
So that you can drop the block on him. So sometimes you have to build up to a 15 chain, but sometimes he just does nothing and he just straight up he just chokes. And as a result, so a 13-second Gary run is basically like ideal. Like it's a situation where it's the kind of thing that you pray for when you're playing this game. So now that we're up to Troll C, we got a little bit of a choke from Tayman, but at the same time, Troll C chokes twice as hard because he still cannot handle this disparate four combo block strategy. So the way it works, as I mentioned earlier, is the fact that both sides, he tries to clear the 4 combo on both sides, so he's going to attempt one. If he misses, he's going to try another. If he misses, he's going to try the other. And that builds up what is called, it runs out what is called stop time. So stop time is what happens when you make a chain or a combo, and at that point, you get extra life, more or less, right? But when you don't make anything happen for a certain amount of time, you pretty much just straight up, lose the game. And unfortunate clear there for the Team Rocket. But anyway, so in that situation, when you're in a when Tracy's trying to clear both 4 combos at once, he can't clear both of them because he's focusing on one at a time, because this is still AI based. And Tayman actually wisely staying in this this Team Rocket. I'm not saying actually in the sense of disbelief, but more in the sense that like I would have quit a long time ago. Like he's reading the board, he's seeing the fact that this Team Rocket might not be able to clear this, and he got it. I mean, it's a little bit delayed, but so when you see your opponent burning too many blocks, which is like when they have a clear setup, they burn it with a 9 combo as opposed to a 3 combo or 6 combo. When they have another combo set up with a 12 combo, that's when you know that your opponent is not going to have enough ammunition in order to finish off the chain, in order to finish off the clearing situation that they're put in. And that's exactly what happened right there.
Okay, I messed that up.
So, do you want to give a little bit of insight on how these garbage blocks function? Some of the game basics for some of our viewers out there who might not have played this game before?
Yeah, let me see if I can chime in here briefly. So it's like a match 3 puzzle game. You can see that I'm swapping these blocks around, and if I line up 3 in a row, they're going to clear. So what you can do is you can actually clear more than 3 in a row. That's called a combo. Or you can clear blocks, and then those blocks will disappear after you clear them. And then if blocks fall again, and then they chain, and then they clear again, that's called a chain. So you do chains and combos to send garbage blocks to your opponent. And if your screen is full of garbage and too much time passes, then you die, basically. So there is an AI exploit in this game where they are programmed to clear the very lowest garbage block. So what we do is, okay, so you see it right here on Richie. That double 4 combo, we start a chain with a 4 combo, we get another 4 combo in that chain. That sends 2 smaller garbage blocks side by side. If one falls to the bottom and the AI can't clear it, their cursor will just freak out and they'll die, because they're programmed to look for a clear on that lowest garbage. So even if they had like something else they could have done, like they'll die anyway. Okay, thank you, controller, for just ignoring that input that I just did.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about. Now you can trick the AI.
Yes.
And that stage 12 was actually the best example because I think it was Giovanni. He did the exact same thing to Tayman, but as a human player, you can figure that situation out. You even out the blocks, and then you clear both of them at the same time, as well as the big chain above in the garbage. However, the AI was never structured in order to do that. That is the big difference. They are not programmed to, like change priorities. They always prioritize the block that is lowest on their screen. And that's why we're seeing the reset right here, partially because that Lorelei, she reset both blocks at the same time.
Now, you previously mentioned that there's no type advantage in this game. So is what Pokemon you choose just an 100% aesthetic?
Yes. 100%. No.
No, it's not 100% aesthetic. The main difference is the confidence that you gain. It's kind of like saying, like, listen, I got this. Like, like I'm Ash from Pokemon. I got the perfect Pokemon for this situation. Like I will hack this game with my mindset, basically. But all right, in terms of pure gameplay, yes, it is 100% aesthetic. But at the same time, we've also seen people completely favor Squirtle or completely favor Bulbasaur because the most optimal run is Pikachu all the way through. But if you run it 100 times, you kind of get a little bit tired of Pikachu. I'm sorry for the Pikachu fans out there.
All right. Oh, perfect. That was textbook on Lorelei.
Because we currently have a poll going for the best game franchise, and Pokemon is in last place by a good deal. They're being beat by Mario, Zelda, and even Sonic.
Oh, jeez.
So if you guys want to get some donations in to bump up Pokemon,
I'm gonna.
It's absolutely absurd.
I'm gonna take that personally. Okay, controller.
That is ridiculous. To say that Pokemon is last behind all those, I don't know. When's the last time that you traded your collectible Zelda cards, or I don't know, you used the link cable to connect your Game Boys in the 90s, or you connected to Showdown, to fight Link versus Ganondorf or whatever, right? Like, I feel like Pokemon just offers so many options for different types of gameplay. I mean, we have different panels even in Pokemon Puzzle League just for Pokemon. So my recommendation is donate, because if you disagree with what I'm saying, like, you're just straight up wrong. That's it. I'm sorry.
It is. It's all those Mario runs we had.
Okay, I think that's gonna be good.
No disrespect.
Okay, cool. So Bruno, who was Chain's favorite character, just went down. So now we're gonna go to the Wink Wink final stage in Gary 2. And this run has improved a ton since that horrible Erica.
So the reason why it's a wink wink on the Gary 2 is because of the fact that after you beat Gary 2, you have to face Mewtwo, but you cannot reset on Mewtwo. It's one of the most unique mechanics in all of speedrunning, I think, in the sense that you can, well, or at least speedrunning these types of games, where you can reset strat on story mode as much as you want in the majority of games, but Mewtwo is kind of like the super boss. He is the one that if you lose, you have to go back to the previous stage as opposed to the same stage. So in that sense, you kind of had to get the perfect kill on Mewtwo just to have a chance on securing a world record run like the one that Tayman has, or if you want to have a good time at all, basically. I've had runs where I was on a decent pace,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
after that, I just end up having a 6-minute Mewtwo. So this is where everyone needs to, I don't know, like put your Pog champs in the chat, give our support to our man Tayman. This is where the run really makes or breaks itself. Is when you can do 2 quick kills back to back.
So actually, in my so I mentioned that that double four combo strat, and we have a saying that Mewtwo is free because he's just so good that he'll like usually clear enough blocks for you to leave an opening to get the quick kill. And like I was so on my world record run, not Pikachu. On my world record run, I was like, I messed up my chain like ahead of time, but when I messed up my chain is when Mewtwo left me the opening. So I got totally bailed out on the world record.
So, to my understanding, what you're saying is that you messed up your chain, but it worked out anyway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like I think I mentioned earlier that like I am watching while I am chaining, I am also looking over at the AI screen. Like it's hard enough to play this game, and I'm gonna Gary's being a butt right now. The reason I got so good at this game is because my parents bought me Tetris Attack when I was 5, and I've basically been playing the game like Puzzle League ever since. So I kind of cheated.
If you want to call it that. You
Well,
won't be alone. So the difficulty in the Mewtwo run. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Max.
They're definitely very similar.
Yeah. So the difficulty in the Mewtwo run again is the fact that not only do you have to get a good Gary before that, which is the Gary 2, because you face him as the first stage, you also have to get a good Mewtwo run, but you don't have the option of resetting, as we've seen Tayman reset on Gary 2 right here a couple of times already. You don't have the option of starting over again. You can't start fresh. You just have to run it through the way that it gives it to you. And to make that investment is just absurd. You know, if you were to say, okay, listen, I would rather run 2 stages instead of 1. That's what you have to do in Mewtwo.
Okay.
So I think what Tayman is saying is that he did
There we
not
go.
approach the Mewtwo appropriately.
Okay, bless. Actually, let's watch this cut. Let's watch this cutscene really quick. All right, so we have won the championship. Ash has finally won the league champ for the first time in 20 years, and the trophy.
I'm so sorry. I must have been way further behind than I thought I was.
So now we're Pokemon the first movie. Bless RNG in chat. I'm gonna focus up here.
All right, that's something to possibly mention, and perhaps it goes without saying, but this game is very RNG based. Is that correct?
I'm gonna answer for Tayman because he's gonna be very focused right now. So yes, it's very heavily RNG based. It's based on whether or not the computer finds the optimal solution to the block that you send them. At the same time, it's very RNG based in terms of the block that you get. So like how quickly you can solve it based on what your interpretation of the block is. And then on top of that, it's RNG based in the sense that, like, let's say you have a very difficult timing situation versus a very easy timing situation. So if we're looking at Tayman's screen, it may look like it's a very easy 14 chain that he just dropped on YouTube, but he almost died himself building that up. So there's definitely a lot of RNG built up into this game. And he's in a very tough spot, actually. Like, just based on what I'm seeing in the screen right now, he finds a great solution there with the 4 purples. I'm sorry again for the delay. but Mewtwo unfortunately clears, but Mewtwo is very low on blocks on my side, and I think that this might be it, actually, looking at Mewtwo's screen. Finds the purples.
Yeah, that was close.
So yeah, absolutely, Max. You're definitely right. This is very heavily RNG based in that sense. It's not about perfecting a certain combination of movements. It's about reading the board, and as Tayman mentioned earlier, it's about reading your opponent's board.
All right, there we go.
Knowing when to stop your chain, knowing
All right.
when to build up your chain.
That's time. Whew.
Definitely requires a different kind of mental agility that most speedruns we see won't have.
Absolutely, it's a completely different beast. It's a very pressured situation.
Do you want to give us some insight about these gray exclamation point blocks that are coming up?
Absolutely, those are called shock blocks. Another way to call them is steel blocks. They have a lot of names, but the run is over. So what those do is that instead of generating a combo, they generate a chain's worth of the same amount. So like a 3 combo of 3 shock blocks generates a solid row. A 4 combo generates 2 solid rows, so on and so forth. But Tayman, he has done it. He has done it 30 minutes, 16 seconds, just a little bit under the famed sub 30. I'm sorry, just a little bit over the famed sub 30. That was the hallmark that you wanted to hit about maybe like a couple years ago. It's still a very solid run. Well done to Tayman here, and I would love to hear Tayman's remarks on his run for this.
Yeah, so that was about 30 minutes, and that's pretty good. Like, I want to get any run done in like under 30 minutes. We set the estimate to 40 just because of how much can go wrong. World record is actually 15:35, so like half the time, and that was like one of the luckiest runs of like that's ever happened in Puzzle League history because the previous world record was 17:01, and I have not gotten like anything even close to that so far. I did so like we actually got a 15-minute time before a 16-minute time, and then like I just got a 16-minute time a couple months ago, so it's kind of neat to have the 2 fastest times in this game. But we're gonna do like a swag chain showcase, and I'll explain how these work. Swag chains are like basically tricks to chain that aren't really intended, but they're allowed by the mechanics of the game. And we're just gonna go on with this until we switch over to the next run. So this one actually is intended. We're gonna clear these yellows, and then we're gonna catch those blues. So if you do it too soon, you see it just drops down. But you have about 3 frames to catch it with that light blue color.
So just as a reminder to everyone, chains are when something falls and creates another combo of 3 in a row.
Right, another clear. So like these normally wouldn't result in chains, or you wouldn't think, but like due to the mechanics of the game or the engine, basically they count as chains. So this is like a 1 or a 2 frame trick.
Yeah.
So what I did was like I swapped this in the frame it lands, and that works because like as this purple block is in motion, it has a chain flag applied to it. So if the chain flag says if a clear happens and one of the blocks has a chain flag, make a chain. So we actually swap it in the frame it lands, and it still has the chain flag on that block, so it counts as a chain.
To put it into layman's terms as best as I can, it's kind of like redetermining what a floor means. You know, like if you're standing on a floor and you say like, this is the floor that I'm standing on, and then the world just decides, no, the floor that you're standing on is actually twice as wide, and it gets deleted or created based on what I say. That's what a swag chain is.
Yeah, like they're tricks. So like this one here, I'm gonna arrange these stars and diamonds, and you can see like that those didn't clear until they fell. I'll try to get that one more time. If you do it too soon, you see that it cleared before falling. And if you do it too late, like you won't get to swap it before it falls. And oh, another thing I can do is like, right as it falls, I can clear it because it's in motion, so it counts as a chain. So that's a pretty cool trick.
That's a nice one.
This is probably the hardest one. So that one where I swapped in when it landed, that was like, I don't know if that's 1 or 2 frames, but this trick is absolutely frame perfect in a 60 FPS game. I'm going to swap this red into here.
That purple and yellow is a 1 frame. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it feels like it. We don't actually know a ton about the engine because this game doesn't play well with emulators whatsoever. But so this one, blocks basically fall 1 row per frame. So we have one frame to catch this heart and swap it into there.
So while we're on
Like
this
that.
topic, we should mention the fact that you have a limited amount of moves that you can make per stage. So the Jigglypuff is telling you how many moves you have available on the right over there.
Well, that doesn't really matter in this case. These are custom puzzles, so I just maxed Jigglypuff out at 5. If this was regular puzzle mode, then the whole goal is to clear the blocks in the designated number of solutions, but that doesn't really apply here.
So basically what Tayman is trying to do is when the heart blocks are clearing, when the blocks are clearing, he's trying to catch the heart block from falling and swap it in between the 2 sets of 2 heart blocks there, and he just did it right there.
Yeah, that's very difficult. And then for this one, this is actually pretty easy. What you can do is actually like drop these purples, and the top one will like catch up to the bottom one, and it'll clear.
Very impressive.
And there's one. Yeah, there's one more. Actually, I think there's a couple more here. So, like, what I can do right here is I can swap this bottom one over and then swap this other one up. And that's very quick. So that's a pretty fun one. And then what else do I have? This is just a variant of the 1 frame swap in trick, except instead of going into the middle, we're going into the top. So this one looks really weird.
Yeah, there's no way to get rid of that red. There's physically no way.
Why am I so bad at this? Yeah, just like
That's
that.
not right. That does not exist.
It's so weird. So like if you're so obviously in the game you're trying to get the easiest chains you can, but sometimes you're in a situation where you can't find an easy chain, and really your only option are these swag chains, which are very risky and difficult. So they're basically Hail Marys. And then
You just drop that red to the left though.
You know
okay.
what? I'm not a speedrunner, and I don't know all that much about this game, but I actually remember trying to do this stuff as a kid playing this game. I remember basically pulling off some of that swag.
Yeah, like
That is the beauty of it.
You find it accidentally. You're like, because so many you're doing so much block stuff and you'll see accidental stuff. Yeah, so this one right here, I just made like a little showcase. I'm gonna swap this in. It just has like 2 tricks.
That was clean.
Yeah, I did it.
Oh, look clean.
I didn't get that last one.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
so this
my
is.
god.
And this is hard. I did that last lap too early. And yeah, this is the last thing I have for you guys. Perfect.
That looks so good.
So yes, that was Pokemon Puzzle League. It's a very puzzle games are very unusual for speedrunning, but I hope you guys enjoyed just the sheer level of like mastery that puzzle games require. Either if it's Puzzle League, Tetris, Puyo Puyo. Hope you guys had a blast. Thank you, Pace, for having me. Uh, if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to drop a follow on my channel at TaymanND. Also, feel free to jump in the Discord. If you search for Puzzle General, you'll get a link to our Discord. We have all sorts of puzzle games there. And I just want to say thank you to the Infinite Chain for providing commentary.
Thank you so much, Tayman, for this fantastic run. Thank you to Max for the donations, for the insight into this run. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Pace. Cheers to you guys for what you guys do. Thank you to all the viewers, and that's it for me. I'm the Infinite Shane. That's it.